Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, after years of waiting, it looks like Jinbe is officially going to join the Straw Hat Pirate crew in this week's manga chapter of One Piece, which was absolutely amazing. I loved this chapter right here. There were so many cool brand new characters who were introduced. One of them is kind of shocking, to say the least. So, as you guys know, in this current arc of One Piece, we're being introduced to one of the Yonko, one of the 4 emperors who goes by the name of Big Mom. Despite the fact that she's a big creepy lady, she's also incredibly powerful and commands a lot of presence amongst the big powerful characters in the One Piece universe. And it was also implied that she has a lot of children. Lots of sons, lots of daughters, they're all expendable, and there's a lot of them to go around. And the one that's introduced in this chapter is just ridiculous. So we already know that in the One Piece universe, there are mer people, there's mermaids, there's also fishmen, who are like half men, half fish. But we have this perfect combination here, which is this new character by the name of Charlotte Praline, who is a hammerhead mermaid. Yes, I said that right, a hammerhead mermaid. And this chick looks absolutely horrifying. It seems like Big Mom, just like Kanye West, really likes some fish sticks, because apparently she's made it with humans, she's made it with mermaids. I would love to see who the father is in this situation, whether it be an actual hammerhead shark or not. That's pretty creepy to actually think about. But this character right here is really interesting, as we've never really seen her before, but what's really great is that you think that she would be incredibly dedicated to her mother. No, actually, she's actually willing to help out Jinbe and actually not out him to Big Mom herself, which allows Jinbe to go to Big Mom and confront her, and this leads to a really tense confrontation because, as we all know, if you want to leave Big Mom's crew, it's probably going to cost you your life. However, we've never really seen how that goes down, but Big Mom is a very theatrical woman. I mean, hell, she lives on a giant island made of cake, for God's sake. So she decides she's going to do things in a very interesting way. She brings out this big roulette, which has a lot of body parts on it, and basically she's going to allow Jinbe to spin that, which could result in him either losing a limb, or even possibly losing his life if he decides he wants to leave the Big Mom Pirates. This is a really funny and ridiculous moment, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen to Jinbe. I have a feeling he's going to be just fine. What I will say is, I'm just so glad to finally see him be done with his adventures and join the Straw Hat crew. The Straw Hat crew needs a fishman on the crew because it would be incredibly useful. Jinbe has a strong connection with not only Luffy, but all of the other people from the past, Goldie Roger, all the other emperors, all the other frickin' warlords. He's got strong connections to everyone, and he's going to be an incredible asset to the crew. Not only that, but I think he's just frankly a great character in general. The minute he was introduced years ago, I was like, oh yeah, this is a character we're going to need to see join the crew, and it'll be perfect. By that point, we'll actually have 10 crew members, which I think will honestly be the perfect number as we go towards the end of the One Piece series. Now, aside from all the Jinbe stuff, we also have the Straw Hat crew, which is making their way to Big Mom's island, and they're still continuing to play with the whole Candy Island thing. Like, they're actually stuck in the middle of this ocean, which is basically candy, which has frozen over, and they're constantly having to try and melt it just so that they can sail through, but they're also trying to not be attacked by these giant monstrous ants. It's almost a little, like, too over the top in some senses. But then again, this is One Piece. This is a series which really runs the gamut for weird, and it leads to a lot of really great funny scenes, which gives this week's chapter not only a lot of really great revelations and action, but also some really great laughs, something that the One Piece series is very good at doing. Not to mention, they're continuing to subtly hint at the character of Pedro, that member of the Mink tribe, who used to be a pirate, used to travel with Pecoms, and has apparently been here before and has seen some serious shit. You can tell that he's very deeply disturbed to actually come back here, but it almost looks like he's trying to sort of like atone for all the things that went down in the past, hence why he's actually deciding to help out the Straw Hat crew. So, at the end of the chapter, they make it to Whole Cake Island. Luffy says he sees someone on shore. It's probably another weird, brand new, mysterious character, and the hype is real. So what's the rundown on this week's chapter of One Piece? Jinbe's joining the crew. That's really my favorite thing about this chapter right here. Jinbe is one of my favorite characters from the series. Like, if I had a top 5 favorite One Piece characters, he would definitely be in there. He's just so freaking badass. He's very different than the other members of the Straw Hat crew that we've seen. He's very calm, he's very collected, he's very wise. He's seen a lot of shit, he's been around for a long time, and he's worked with some of the biggest organizations from the One Piece series. So to finally get to see him return and have some proper dialogue and wanting to join Luffy is really, really a big deal, especially for me because I'm a really big fan of the character. I have a feeling that a lot of other fans of the One Piece series are also going to be very excited over this prospect, as when the series actually began, almost every single time there was a brand new story arc, there would be like a brand new crew member who would join, and it's been a long time since we've had something like that go down. We've gone through multiple arcs since we got to the time skip, and we've had no new members. And years ago, when Luffy told Jinbe that he would like him to join the crew, Jinbe said, I got some things to take care of. Once I finish up with that, I will definitely come back and join your crew, and the time has finally come. The problem is he's going to have to get permission from Big Mom. That's one of the craziest things about this chapter. Big Mom is incredibly disturbing in so many ways. I mean, in last week's chapter, she just randomly killed one of her sons for pretty much no reason. So to see her, like, bring out this roulette, which could possibly result in Jinbe being killed, is really ridiculous, but it speaks a lot for her character. I can't wait to see what her true powers are going to be. I'm kind of surprised she's going for the whole roulette thing. Why isn't she going back to the whole, like, being able to take away people's life force, kind of like what she did in the previous chapters? Clearly, she is a woman who likes to have a lot of fun and do things in a really over-the-top way. She fits perfectly in the One Piece universe. Now, then there's Pedro. Pedro is one of those characters that I didn't even really pay attention to that much, like when the arc actually started. I thought he was just going to be another one of those random side characters who gets introduced every single arc. They have a small little story, we get through it, everything ends happy, and that's going to be the end of it. There's going to be a little bit more to Pedro, I think, than meets the eye, especially when we finally start to get into his backstory, what happened when he originally came to these islands for the very first time. It's a development that I'm really starting to truly like. He's a character that's really starting to get under my skin. Again, just like Jinbe, he's another one of those characters who seems like he would be very perfect for the Straw Hat crew, if only for his uniqueness. I mean, we've seen Mink Tribe members before, but this is a guy with a really dark and disturbing past. Very different from other characters like, say, Carrot or Wanda or any of the other members of the Mink Tribe that we've seen before. So I can't wait to learn a little bit more about him and his history with Pekoms. All I know is this week's chapter right here was fantastic. Jinbe is coming back in full force. There were tons of cameos from a lot of fan-favorite Fishmen characters. The introduction of Praline, who is a very ridiculous character. Like I said, when they have Fishman characters and they have the characteristics of other, like, fish in the ocean, they tend to go crazy with that fact. The fact that she's like a hammerhead shark, like her hair actually goes out kind of like the actual hammerheads of a hammerhead shark. It looks really cool. Her sharp teeth and everything. She kind of reminds me of that one member of Doflamingo's crew, who was the half-fighting fishman. She has a lot of similarities to that guy, but she's a full-on mermaid, so she's not going to be going on land anytime soon. But it's really great to see that they're her children, her sons, daughters, they're all over the ocean in various different forms. They really were not kidding when they said that this woman has had this many children. It's insane. So, great chapter right here. I absolutely loved it. It had some fantastic artwork, especially with the new characters. There also just so happened to be some amazing dialogue and lots of funny moments, not to mention a lot of tension, especially with Jinbe confronting Big Mom, which, in this universe, they emphasize many times that is something that you do not do. Don't play your fiddle with the devil. It's going to end up biting you in the ass. So, fantastic chapter right here. I absolutely loved it. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. This was a great read with some great artwork and some fantastic developments. This arc is already turning into one of my favorites just for how creative it is and how many twists and turns there are. New characters, old characters returning, big revelations. It's amazing. It's also very obvious that they're going to have to deal with Big Mom before they go to Kaido, which makes that scene where he was introduced all those chapters ago just seem all the more epic, because they're clearly trying to build that character up a lot. And I have a feeling he's going to be significantly more threatening than Big Mom and their crew. Despite how creepy they already are, Kaido is just going to be an absolute force of nature, and I can't wait to see how they're going to handle that in the storyline. So, like I said, great chapter, 5 out of 5 from me, but I want to hear from you guys. Make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's chapter of One Piece. Are you excited about Jinbe deciding to join Luffy and his Straw Hat crew? What do you think is going to happen to him in that roulette battle? Do you think he's actually going to be killed? Is he going to lose a limb? Is something even crazier going to happen? And what do you want to see from the rest of this brand new Big Mom arc? Please tell me in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. I really appreciate it. If you would like to help support Super Kami Guru 9000, you can do that in a number of awesome ways. You could like this video, share it with a friend, comment on it, but most importantly, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be able to see all of our latest anime and manga reviews as they are released. And make sure to also check out our weekly podcast series, The Powerful Nerdcast. You can find links for that in the description box below. Thank you guys again for watching. And as always, stay dandy, baby.